Hi. Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope my voice and our screen is visible. And we'll just wait for another 2 minutes and then we can start. We are audible, right, Pratik? Pratik, Hema, Swapnil, yes.
Yes, Pratik, you are
Yes, you're
audible.
audible.
Okay, great. Another 1 minute and we will start 2 minutes. Just we are checking if everything is working fine at the back end and waiting for members to join. We have shared the link also, joining link. Just 2 minutes and then we start. Okay, so let's start. We'll start. We'll not wait further. Okay. So thank you very much. A warm welcome to everyone who's present on the webinar today. So today is 7th, and this is our second Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas we are conducting. And I have along with me Mr. Swapnil Khandekar. He's a senior trainer in Institute of Information Security, and he have been delivering various cybersecurity trainings in terms of the application testing, forensic, security operation centers, and various other trainings which we have conducted for our clients. That is something which he has done, and he will be taking us through the today's topic, what we are going to cover in terms of. So I'll take you through the topics also. I'll just quickly show you what the agenda will be, and he'll be taking us through various frauds which had happened earlier in the banking sector, and what e-payments, etc., and what all things you should be in what all things you should be aware of while doing payments, and what is payments, and how the fraud usually happens, and what are the current trends which are happening in the cybersecurity space in terms of payments. Okay, so that is something Swapnil will cover. I'll quickly take you through what we do and what Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas is all about, and certain stats which I will take you through. And that will give you a quick background about how the cybersecurity, cybercrime is evolving and growing exponentially in terms of the financial fraud which are happening day in and day out. Okay, so we'll cover what is Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas and why it is important, and what the uh, circular says basically about Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas, which was given by Ministry of Home Affairs, and which they had asked to conduct it on every first Wednesday. That is why we are here today. and the cybercrime and the cybercrime stats, and then case studies, etc. Okay, so that is something which we will cover. Right. So moving to what Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas is and why we are doing this. So the Ministry of Home Affairs had come up with a circular stating that we should observe Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas on every first Wednesday. That is something which, so this is to create awareness about cyber security, what cyber security is all about, why it is important, and what it lies in terms of the end user, like be it the organization's end user or be it as an individual. When we are protecting certain things, obviously the financial payment is something, finances is something which we are going to protect, but also protect the nations also, right? Because there are nation state actors which are attacking the organizations and trying to bring down the system of that particular organization, or bring down, or data theft. So you must have heard about the recent hack about the Aadhaar data, right? The police had caught 2 or 3 hackers who have been siphoning of the Aadhaar data and selling it in the dark web. Okay, around more than 3 crores of Aadhaar data was stolen. And also the WhatsApp breach, must have heard about WhatsApp breach that recently happened, wherein the data has also leaked of the users, right? So that's something also we need to take care of. So in at the background of this, the Ministry of Home Affairs thought that we should push cybersecurity awareness to everyone. That is why the circular came in, and they have asked everyone, including the colleges, university, panchayat raj institutions, and any organization which falls under our in terms of be it any organization or any ministry, they have to observe Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas on the first of Wednesday. That is something. So the circular, detailed circular is available. You can get it from the Ministry of Home Affairs website, that the reference link which we have shared, and you can take care of this. I mean, you can download it and go through it. So again, Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas, you can do quizzes, we can do webinars, we have various sessions, we have hackathons sessions. That is like one of the things which we are doing it for you is a webinar wherein we try to pick one topic, and then like we give a brief understanding of what exactly does. That is why our trainer, Mr. Swapnil, is also here. He'll be explaining us what exactly and how exactly it happens. Right. So moving on to the basically what all things Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas and the circular also has in terms of cybersecurity crimes, what cyber hygiene we are going to follow, social networking, electronic payments, and safeguards. So these are broad topics which the ministry has asked us to do a session on. I mean, on terms of Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas. So we are going to cover today electronic payments and safeguards, which usually needs to be followed by the end user or anyone in the organization for that matter, in terms of how exactly and what are the frauds, what are the stats in terms of electronic payments which are happening, okay, in today's world, and what is the repercussions and what the entire world is going to lose in terms of money or transactions over a period of time. And it has grown exponentially. I'll cover few stats. I'll have certain stats which are there uh, that I'll cover. And before that, obviously, big names are there in the industry and they have been hacked. We can just cover that. I mean, in terms of what these are the apps which we use day in and day out, right? So Zomato is something which we use day in and day out for ordering our food delivery. For that is something which was stolen. Big Basket again was hacked. Adobe was hacked. Pratik, I'm facing some issues. I'm not able to. Okay, fine, got it. So grocery, Twitter was hacked, Equifax. So these are big names, okay. And as we speak, there are other organizations have been hacked and other institutions which are targeted. We have seen exponential growth in terms in the COVID times also, because that is where when everyone went back home in order to continue the business continuity should be there, and obviously the entire world went work from home, and we have seen major attacks during that time because everyone was working from home. Cloud infrastructure was involved. Everyone was using their Wi-Fi, and phishing attacks had grown exponentially. So that has also happened. So we have seen that. and by then it was around $6 trillion we had lost. Okay, and what the current stats says is around 10, we are going to lose around $10 trillion by 2025. This is something which they have predicted. And by cybercrime, what we usually mean is what happens to the data, or what happens to the data which is there in terms of you say even if it is Aadhaar data, or your financial data, or be it your email IDs, and that is something which is sold in the darknet, and they are trying, the hackers usually use that and try to lure you in terms of financial gains, or in terms of or like sextortions is there, cyber sex trafficking is there, cyber fraud is there. Recently there is a fraud going on. Everyone must have come across. It's an electricity fraud wherein if you get a message stating that you have not paid the electricity bill. Okay, and you need to pay the bill by today evening, otherwise your electricity would be cut off. So that is something which you fall prey to, right? In a panic, okay, fine, I have paid the bill, and why I am receiving such a message. So people are aware, but in a panic situation, they tend to fall prey to this. So that is something they usually tap into the your psychology, and obviously they use the panic situation in order to lure you in terms of finances also. So various cyber types of cyber crime or cyber warfare is going around. I mean, nation state actors are involved. You must have seen in the past the Russia attacked Ukraine in terms of not only physical but also in terms of bringing the entire financial institution down by taking down the entire network of theirs, right? So imagine if a nation state actor is acting on India, and if they bring down the financial system, imagine the loss which we would face, right? So that is something which cyber warfare is about. So this is the next generation warfare which is going around, and that is something which we are here to fight for, right? Cyber fraud, again, cyber terrorism, extortion, and that all things comes under the cyber crime only. I mean, by using your data basically and doing social engineering on that, that is something which the hackers usually do, right? So moving on to the stats which I had mentioned, like by 2025, it is predicted that around $10.5 trillion would be lost across the globe in terms of obviously to the by paying ransomware attacks, like recently happened in the AIMS in Delhi, right? The hackers put in ransomware in the server of theirs, and encrypting the entire data of more than 4 to 5 crore uh, like patients, right? And obviously stalling the entire day-to-day activities of AIMS. So you can imagine this would happen to all the hospitals in India, and then everything, or be it the airport, right? So everything will be at standstill, and this has happened in the past for the airport also. So this is something which we lose. This is the money which we are going to lose in terms of cyber attacks, right? So again, all this as we speak, again, cyber attacks are taking place worldwide, and every second there is an attack. Every second organization has been attacked. Obviously, we are there to protect 100% security, something which is not possible, but that is something which we can do in terms of preventing this by pushing in, like what we are doing right now. It's cyber Jaagrookta, like we are putting in awareness right now. That's these are certain practices which we should follow in terms of when doing a payment, or doing social engineer, or reading an email, etc., etc. That Swapnil will cover in detail in the next slides, and that's something which we need to follow, so that at least at our end, be it our family, organizations, or friends, we are protected, right? So because we have to fight, we are all into it, and we have to fight it out with the bad guys, right? Moving on to the today's topic, which Swapnil would cover, that is something electronic payments, and what are the hygienes and etc. that we need to follow. That is something which Swapnil will cover. He will cover certain case studies also in terms of what had happened in the past, big cases. He will mention how it has happened at the back end, how the modus operandi would be, and cyber safety. I mean, what all things you should do in terms of while we do payments to certain organizations or individual, etc. What are things we need to follow that Swapnil would take you through. Swapnil, over to you. Thank you very much. We'll connect again back when the question and answer session begins. Over to you, Swapnil.
Okay, thank you, Pratik, for the brief introduction. Okay, so let's start. So what is e-payments, right? E-payment systems and all. We have our economy is driven towards the digitalization. So the e-payment systems and e-payment channels plays a key role in that system. Like we have a habit of purchasing thing on the e-commerce website, and even nowadays because of this UPI transactions and all, we have a habit of do the transaction on the basis of UPI by just scanning the codes, by just sending a money on the numbers and all. That is what comes under the event system. So it's become a integral part of our day-to-day activity where we do the payments with the help of debit cards, credit cards, direct bank deposits, e-checks. E-checks is quite nowadays a outdated process, but yeah, it's a part of a e-payments, like wallets, like Paytms is a wallet. Like India have given a mandate, like no one can uh, hold any amount of money in terms of wallet. So now it's again issue of the regularization and all. So that is all the different things. Then bitcoins, like your cryptocurrencies, there are more than 1,000 types of cryptocurrencies are there in the market. Out of them, certain are famous one like Bitcoins, Ethereum, and uh, Tether, and so on. There are multiple types of cryptocurrencies are there. So cryptocurrencies is one of the best way of transaction when a system has been hacked, or you can say it's the favorite mode of payment for attackers. Like they always demand in terms of Bitcoin because it's not traceable, it is untraceable. Even banking system has integrated a cryptocurrency, or I will not say the cryptocurrency, the banking blockchain in their transaction. Like SBI have set up in their transaction system with the help of Japan. They set up a new technology and they created a channel for this transaction and all. So even the Indian government has launched one of their uh, e payment system, that is CDBS. It's again, it's a point of a discussion, like it's a cryptocurrency or it's just a digitalized currency being released by the RBI, because it's against the concept of cryptocurrency, that, or you can say the it's built up over the blockchain, but it's against the concept of cryptocurrency, means deserialization. Because what currency has been launched by the RBI, it's the centralized currency, means it is being controlled by the RBI and directly by the Indian government, and its value is directly attached with the Indian rupee. So again, it's a different point of a discussion which going on currently in the market, like we should consider it or not, right? So that is what something called e-payments. And to support this, there are different systems are there, like NPCI in India is there, who control all the payment transaction and all according to the latest circular of Indian government. Like all the transaction which is being carried out in India has to be gone through the NPCI transaction channel. Means nowadays they will going to control everything. Even the uh, for an inward remittance also has to be passed through the NPCI. So they will have a proper record or centralized record of all the transaction which is being carried out. So it will become easier if we have a centralized database to detect the fraud or to work over it on the higher pace, right? So they have generated a mandate for all the bankings through the RBI. Like NPCI will only be the channel through which all the transaction has to be carried out in India. Now, how payment systems are working? There are multiple things are there in payment system, like debit cards are there, credit cards are there, online transactions are there. In online transaction also we have IMPS, NIFT, RTGS, SWIFT. there are different channels for that, right? UPI is also one of the channel which through which a transaction is going on. Then we have wallet systems also. Then we have preloaded cards also, where a day certain amount of money is loaded inside one digital card. One magnetic number has been allocated to that. With the help of that, the transaction has been going on. So all this transaction required certain channel or certain method. That is, they will be common processor, receivers, acquiring bank. Scenario which is in front of you, like one life cycle is there. So in which what is happening? A customer is generating a request to initiate a payment. So how he is going to generate? We have to generate through a merchant. Like if we bought something, we have to pay it. We scan it with our apps like Google Pay, Phone Pay, Amazon Pay, and so on. There are multiple UPI, Bhim app, and all multiple UPI payment apps are there. So what we do? We scan our their code, barcode, and all. So that will be our merchant. We scan it, and in backend there will be a processor. It will going to process that request. How is going to process? He will send a request to the acquiring bank, like I want to deposit this much amount of money in this particular merchant whose bank account is there with you. So it will generate, and then it will be sent to the channel, that is your card. Like in UPI also, we can do a transaction on the basis of cards. Now credit card is also been enabled in the UPI transaction. So it will send it to this transaction channel. Either it will be a banking channel or like Visa, MasterCard, sorry, or the RuPay card. It will be transferred to them, and then they will connect to the issuing bank, like who have issued that particular card, or who is issuing that particular channel. Like UPI also have the channels for that, like Yes Bank have a channel, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, SBI. They have created a UPI transaction channel. So it has been shared to them, and then it is will shared with the issuing bank who have issued it, means where the account of the customer is holding. So request has been sent it there, then it will create a debit transaction command there, and then it is will send it to the channel again, and then that credit command has been initiated in the acquiring bank, and merchant will got the message like this much amount has been transferred or deposited in your account with some token number has been generated. We called it ITR number or transaction IDs that has been generated with the help of the processor. So this is how a whole e-payment system is being working. So the main point in the e-payment system on when we talk about the fraud is we can consider as the merchant, means where you are initiating a payment. If you are initiating a payment at a wrong location, so you are lead to the frauds. That is how frauds has been initiated by different fraudsters or scamsters in the market by sending different ways, by sending SMS or links or phishing mails. So there are multiple ways are associated with that. So we will going to discuss uh, most of these scenarios, like how it will be going to cover this kind of frauds. Now, if we take some different impacts of cybercrime, like investment frauds, like around $70,000 like 71 or $70,000 USD dollars has been the average loss been occurred by the victims, by a single victim. That is the average loss. In some have, if a banking system directly has been compromised, so the loss will be high. If a normal user has been compromised, the loss will be low. So the average is $70,000. Same goes for the different scenarios like online payment frauds, like UPIs and all. Tax support scam. So what is tax support scam? They will call you like. We are going to provide a tech support to your system. They will first give you a free service, and they will take access of your system, and then they will drop some malware or something in your system which will give like, okay, your system has been compromised. To remove this malware, you have to buy our services. So that will come under the tech support scam. Identity theft is like it's a recent news, like 2 3 days ago only, from Gurgaon. Someone has cloned a fingerprint. Okay, so if you are cloned a fingerprints means what? You have done the identity has been stolen from that. And in our Aadhaar system, in our NPCI, we have a system called Aadhaar payment. So what he have done is he cloned multiple uh, fingerprints of different users, and then he initiated a payment with the help of this cloned fingerprint with the Aadhaar payment system. So that's come under the identity theft kind of saying. Credit card frauds. Credit card frauds is like sorry. Uh, if your credit card has been stolen, or a data breach has been happened, like there are lots of data breaches been recorded in the past, like Amazon data has been breached, Flipkart data has been breached. So what data has been breached? So it's your credit card and debit card information has been breached. So if this information has been breached, so they have all the information of yours, so they can initiate a payment with the help of this credit card and debit card. But in India, we have an option called OTP, a security mechanism. Like without OTP, you will not supposed to initiate a payment. But yeah, there are options like 2000 rupees of a payment you can initiate it without the OTPs. That feature is available in India with the help of this tapping cards, NFC enabled or Wi-Fi enabled cards, or even with your one pay card system, you can enable on the e-commerce websites and all. So that with the help of a token has been initiated. So if you enable that thing, then it will create a problem. Sorry. Otherwise, in India, credit card and debit card transaction has been saved if your data has been stolen. Only what you have to do is either block your card or change the password for it, because in the end, the initial payment has to be initiated with the help of a OTP. So it's always a good practice to disable the tapping feature of your card, because every time you have to provide the OTP or PIN to initiate the payment. If you do that, then if your card data has stolen, or your car physical card is also been stolen, still he will not able to initiate the payment because he will not having the PIN or the OTPs. Government impersonations, like what government impersonation these guys are doing. So what they do is they will send a SMS by saying, like Pratik has already discussed, by saying you have not paid your due amount for your electricity bill, right? So it's kind of a threatening mail message being sent to you with a link to avoid the discontinuity of your electricity or power. Please pay this amount by today itself only through this particular link. So that is what they are impersonating themselves as a government agent or government agency to dupe you to generate the payments. Lottery scams, like you have won a lottery. To have this lottery, you have to first pay a custom fee or a tax amount, like this much amount of tax has been generated on it. So you need to pay this amount, so then we can release the lottery amount into your account. Where in this scam, what they do is they send a link, a form where they ask the details, like banking details, and with the help of banking details, they even ask for the credentials and phone numbers and all other details for you. So that is something programmatic scenario. If you shared your banking detail, Aadhaar detail, and even your credentials in this scam, so that's how this scam has been executed, the lottery scam. Then phishing one, they will share a link or over an email, like you have won a lottery, or your payment or your insurance premium is due, or your EMI is due, and inside that they will send a link to avoid the delay fees, or you have delayed your premium or something like that. So to avoid the extra fine or anything, you have to pay this much amount from this link, and if you click on that link, it will take you to the page, but the amount which you are going to deposit will not going to reach to your issuer or the bank or the company from where you have took the loan or the insurance and all. It will just drop the amount in the attackers system or their attackers banking account. So these are some facts about impacts of different cyber crimes which has been occurred in the past. Now, if we talk about cybercrime with e-payment system, so how it will be created? Like, so with the help of there are certain ways like mobile devices, mobile malwares, APKs they will use with the help of SMS, with the help of UPI fraud, with the help of calls, with the help of if your physical device or mobile device has been stolen. So there are multiple ways are there which we are going to discuss. On top of that, we are going to discuss about scenarios from each way, like how these attacks and all will be carried out and how to save ourselves from such kind of a situation. Like we check these stats out of here, the complaints which has been recorded. The basic thing is in India, we don't file complaints. So the government is not able to create a proper database of these scamsters and their banking details and their phone numbers and their UPI IDs. So best thing is always report or raise a complaint when you fall for this, or if you have got any call related to any kind of a fraud, or if you feel like this is a fraud, so raise a complaint against that particular person. So it will help us government to tackle these frauds, right? So there are some facts are there, like in quarter 2 21, 97,000 more than 97,000 complaints has been filed. Till quarter 2 2022, it's reached to 2,37,658. If we go with the exact data from different financial institutes and the transaction which has been occurred, the real attack scenarios or real frauds is 5 times the complaints which we have registered. Means it's the exact number is 5 times the complaints which are registered with the police departments and different agencies. If we go with the fact, with the data, like it's multiplied by 5, 2 lakhs is multiplied by, it's more than you can imagine, like 12 lakhs people have been fall for these frauds in quarter 2 of 2022, because we are not filing a complaint, so they are not having a database. So what is happening in terms of mobile malware? So what these guys will going to do is, like, first they will gather the information about like what you guys are doing, like if you are doing a share trading or all, so they need a certain kind of application for it, like zero dha and grow and so on. They will require the application. We need any application to do mutual fund investment or any kind of investment. So what these guys will do is they will call you and they will say like your application is outdated. You need to update your application, and I'm sharing a link to avoid means we are providing an update on the early basis. So I am sharing a link, download the application from that link only and install it in your environment. So what is this applications are? These are the proxied applications, or we called it as a modified application, or we called it as a mod application, mod APK. So one unauthorized application will be downloaded in your system, and when you install that application will give the exact feel of the original one. Only thing is, whatever you are doing in the application, it is been recorded by that application and it is been sent to the server of the attacker. Means attacker will have a full control of your mobile. Now he is having a full control of your mobile. Means whatever OTPs has been generated for your payment transaction, he can have a access to that. He know your credentials, he know your banking details, he know how much amount of money you guys are having in your banking account. He have whole data with it, so he will initiated a payment with the details because he already have the credential. And to verify the payment, you need OTPs. So because he has already compromised your mobile device, he will have the access to that OTP also, and with the help of that he can easily do the transaction, or he can easily generate wealth or revenue from your account, right? So usually what they do is either they just transfer this money to some foreign locations, or they purchase some bitcoins or cryptocurrency from this transaction, and then they transfer this bitcoin in their account. So the traceability will become very less, because once your currency, fiat currency, has been transferred into the cryptocurrency or a digital currency, it will become nearly impossible task to detect, like, who have that amount of currency with that. So we have to wait for certain amount of time. When they convert this bitcoins, digital currency, into the fiat currency, that is the only moment where we have to track it back, like, who have got the this amount of money has been deposited in their system. So that is the way to tackle it, but it's that time take a huge amount of time, like 1 year to 2 years to track it back. But yeah, with the help of mobile application, that type of scenario can easily be uh, available. So always download the applications from the trusted repositories, that is your Google Play Store in terms of Android, and in terms of iOS, always download from the iOS store, Apple Store. Always download from the Apple Store. Then only you will be safe your records, or you can save your transactions and all, right? Don't trust any other application if just because they are providing an extra feature. Don't trust it with these application, because to provide the extra feature, they have modified the application, and when a application has been modified, means that is means they have compromised its security and actual code which is available. Maybe they have installed a backdoor in their system. From that backdoor, they can sniff your whole data. So nowadays, to generate a fraud, a financial fraud, it's become very easy because of this UPI. Even the transaction become easy with the help of UPI, and the fraud is also become easy with the help of a UPI transactions. So more than 50% of the digital frauds which are happening in India, they are all UPI based. Okay, so what these guys are doing is they are sending a request to you, or a link or a scanning code to you, by saying pay this much amount of money to receive this thing, or by sending cash on delivery parcels to you. Once a parcel has been reached to you, they will ask for the cash, and they will take a cash with the help of a code, right? You will pay it, and inside that parcel nothing has been there. So even the this kind of a scenario has also been used to for cybercrime. Means they are sending a parcel with COD, cash on delivery, and on top of it there is a code is there, barcode is there, and that COD guy will ask you to pay through the code. And once you pay it, the amount will be deposited in their account. And what product they have been said, it's nothing. It's just an empty box or some uh, garbage material or scrap has been filled up inside that. So that has been carried out. Or they will call you, and by saying you have won a lottery, to avail the lottery, we have sent a request on your UPI number, accept that request. So instead, so whenever uh, if you have to pay someone, right? So to pay, there is no request. We just pay it. Whenever we want something, we request it. So what these guys are doing is they are sending a request in which to pay like 10,000 and 20,000. So, and your in your account, what you will got is, let me show you. Something like this kind of a request will be shared with you, like pay. Congratulations, 23,490 you have been won. So what is this? It's clearly mentioned, it's pay request. Means if you click on it from your account, money will be deducted. So this is the way these guys are using. They will call you, they will dupe you to click on it and pay, initiated the payment. And if you pay it, means you are paying. You are not receiving it, you are paying. To receive, whenever if you want to receive anything, we are not supposed to share our OTP or any kind of a details. It's one way process. Receiving is a Means it's not required any kind of intervention from the user who is receiving the money. Means merchant intervention is not required when a merchant want to receive some amount or anything from the customer. That is the whole story of it. One more attack scenario is there where they will call you from insurance provider. They will they will give you some good looking insurance policies, like I'm calling from Tata AIG or any private player. They will not going to use the LIC because they know LIC will only share insurance through the agents in person. So they will use this private player like ICICI Lombard and Tata uh, uh, Aviva and all insurance provider. They will call you, they will talk you, they will explain the whole premium scenarios, like what the premium is, how the premium will be, what policy is and all. They will even connect with their managers, and also they want to give you an impression like it's the real scenario has been there. And in the end, what they will doing is like, we are sharing a link with you on the WhatsApp or through the SMS. You have to register the form and you have to do the payment through that link only. Like if you are saying like, okay, I will log in your website, or we can purchase this policy from that website. They will say, no, no, you are your CIBIL is good or your financial record is good. So it's a special insurance for you only. You will not going to find it on our website. So you have to pay it through the link only. So they will send a link, and through this link, they will initiated the fraud. Like it's a UPI payment link will be there, like Tata AIG pay request link will be generated from it to buy the insurance. So such scenario is also been possible, or it's happening right now, where these guys are using these techniques to initiate the payment. Okay. Now, so for this, never trust unknown payment request for any UPI. If you are not known which that person is, don't trust it. Even if you are paying anything on the merchant location, also always verify, like, okay, this is the name is registered with your uh, don't just scan randomly any QR code. Always verify with the merchant, like this is the name has been used to register your shop, or this is the UPI has been used for it. This is the number is there. Is it correct or not? Always cross verify and then initiate the payment. Now, sorry. Physical theft, they will try to steal your debit and credit card. They will try to steal your smartphone. So if your smartphone has been uh, uh, theft or your smartphone has been robbed, then it's a serious situation. So in that situation, you have to block your SIM first, then your cards and everything, and generate a new SIM at that moment only. Means launch a FIR, right? Government have launched a multiple portals to launch a FIR on the movement. Like for a cybersecurity, they have launched a portal. I will show you the portal, and where you have to file the complaint at that moment only. Because if your smartphone has been lost, robbed, or it has been stolen by these fraudsters or anything, or if you dropped it, means your OTP has been will come, your UPI is there, OTP is there. So he can do anything with your mobile phone, right? So what uh, if your debit and credit card has been stolen, it's fine, just block it. It will not going to hamper it furthermore, because for that also he requires a PIN and OTP. If you store the PIN with your debit or credit card, then it's a problem. And nowadays, some researchers are saying whenever you received a credit or debit card, delete the CVE numbers. Okay, just memorize the CVE number and erase the CVE number from the back. So what is happening is, if your card and debit or credit card has been stolen or robbed, they will not having the CVE number, so they will not able to initiate the payment over the internet. Means in e-commerce website or any other location, they will not able to generate the payment. For that, they have to go to the merchant location only, or to the ATM or the POS machines or to the ATM to generate the payment. To generate the payment with POS machines or the ATM, it requires the OTP. So the OTP or the PIN. So they don't have the PIN and OTP, so they will not able to generate the transactions or the any kind of financial transaction from it. So it's kind of a win-win situation for you. Always block it when you feel like your card has been stolen. Block it from the applications. You guys are having application, or just call it their customer care number and they will verify some records for you and they will block this account for you. Now, if your phone has been stolen, so what these guys will do is, first they will duplicate your SIM. If your SIM has been duplicated, so whatever OTPs, messages, banking request message, UPI request message has been generated, it will directly reach towards them. Because to do a UPI registration, we just need a mobile number which is linked with Aadhaar, and that mobile number has to be linked with your banking system, with your bank account. So if that SIM has been duplicated, or uh, attacker is able to duplicate that SIM, means he have a full access to your all your financial records, all your banking system and all, and they can easily create a transaction. So the first thing what these guys are doing, they duplicate your SIM, generating a request like my SIM has been uh, dropped or something, and they try to duplicate it. Now there's a thing called there's was a tools was there. With the help of that, you can clone the SIM cloning. Nowadays SIM cloning is not possible because in the SIM they have integrated some kind of a security. If you try to duplicate a SIM with the help of SIM cloning technique, it will burst the network, and that SIM will not be cloned properly and it will damage the SIM. So in that scenario, if a SIM got damaged, the cloning will not be work properly. So that is a security feature has been implemented by the telecom industry to avoid this SIM cloning. So SIM cloning is not possible. So what these guys are doing, they are duplicating your SIM, or they are generating a request for eSIM. They will try to generate a eSIM for your physical SIM. So if they got the eSIM, they can use it on any device to get the access of your OTPs, SMS, financial records and all. Uh, Debit and credit card frauds, like if your debit and credit card has been stolen, means data breach has been performed on any website where you has been stored your debit and credit card. So they have access of it and they will sell these details on the darknet or dark web. But in India, OTP is required. So without OTP, no transaction has been carried out. But if a transaction has been generated from foreign entities and all, they they don't ask the OTPs and all. In that case, transaction will be initiated. But in India, to generate a transaction, OTP is required. So always disable the foreign transactions on your cards. There's a option is available in your banking online banking system from where you can disable that. So if your card data has been stolen from outside India, they will not able to generate a request. So you are saving your environment from it, saving your uh, f- uh, cards. And if in India they are generating, a OTP will be generated that will reach to you. So you will know like, okay, someone has initiated a payment from our card to it. So in this way, you can avoid this situation. And that's why Indian government had made an mandate like NPCI, all the transaction has to be gone through the NPCI. So they know how it is being carried. And even the RBI has been generated a mandate like tokenization of card. So what is happening is no one can store your card detail in their system. Only a token has been granted. So we need to provide a card details to them. So it has been stored in the RBI server with the NPCI, and a token, temporary token has been granted to initiate the payment. So if the database has been breached, they will not able to do anything with the database because they only have the access to the token, and that token is only been verified by the RBI and NPCI. With For the verification also, the user intervention is required, that is OTP and all. So the transaction is been saved. So they will not able to uh, create any kind of a fraud in your environment. So whenever you do a payment on the e-commerce website with your credit and debit card, there is a option on the bottom. Always select that. A checkbox is there which says uh, save your card with RBI guidelines or store your card with RBI guidelines. So put a right check, always select that checkbox so it will save your cards. If data breach has been happened, still your card and details will be saved because it is not stored in their device or in their system.
Swapnil,
Yes.
before we go to the case studies, I will quickly take a demo, I mean a video, show them a video wherein you have covered all the hacks and how it has happened and attacks in wishing, mishing or all that stuff. So we'll quickly show them a video before we move on to the case studies, right?
Right.
And then we can go back to the case studies and then you can just relate it quickly on the attack which we are going to show right now. So just let me know if my screen is visible and of course something is missing. Okay, my audio is also audible. Okay, I'll just quickly share. Just let me know if it is visible.
Yeah, sure.
Visible, right?
Yes, your screen is visible.
A phone and an internet connection can do social engineering. But I was curious, what can a hacker with serious coding skills
Is it audible?
Yeah, it's audible, crisp and clear.
Okay, okay, I'll start the video.
do?
Well, DEF CON is the world's biggest hacking convention. It's hacking everything, hacking social, hacking hardware, hacking software, hacking various systems.
I asked Dan Tentler, a well-known security researcher, to turn all of his firepower on me.
I did get into quite a number of things that I found.
So what were the first things you did? How did you start hacking me?
I quickly found your Squarespace blog and had an idea. Basically what I did was created a bogus Squarespace site and sent an email to you, a fish asking you to go to this website, run this certificate installer.
And I did it, because
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
So once you ran that, it gave me access to your computer, and I created several fake pop-ups that looked like system pop-ups that would ask you for your credentials.
You didn't even have to have my passwords.
No, you gave them to me.
I gave them to you.
Yeah. So I stole your 1Password keychain.
And 1Password is where I store all my other passwords. So effectively
And
by...
your social security number and your Amex stuff and all your stock trading and bank information. I can send email to everyone in this room as you. I am you right now if I want it to be. If my evilness is working correctly, it should actually be taking pictures of your desktop and pictures through your webcam every 2 minutes. And I have been watching you for about 2 days now. In
Oh my
coffee
God.
shops, at your mom's house, on a plane. Here's you editing stuff. There's you like.
Oh my God,
looking
so this
nervous.
is literally
Every 2 minutes.
through my webcam.
Yeah, through this guy.
How badly could you have messed up my life?
I could have made you homeless. I could have made you homeless and penniless.
How?
Like,
How would you make me homeless?
Like I have control of your digital life in its entirety. I have all your credentials. I have all your access to all your financial information, all your work information, all your personal information. I can pay people with your bank account or your Amex account. I am you. I can fully impersonate. Like, the only thing I couldn't doctor would be like your fingerprints.
This is like as bad as it gets.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's bad.
So it turns out that Dan Tentler is very good at his job. I mean, he hacked the hell out of me. He got everything. Well, I mean, frankly, I want to take my computer and throw it into the deepest part of the ocean, and I want to become a hermit, and I want to never touch a piece of technology again, because holy shit, that was everything. That was the keys to my entire life, and he just pulled them out of his pocket.
Okay, so Swapnil, you want to connect it to what all frauds, etc., what has happened here, and then we can go on to the case studies.
Yes, sure. Sorry. So it's a very easy to generate this such kind of a situation. What we do is we just create a payload and we send it through a phishing mail, right? And once you click on that phishing mail, then it's a gone case for you. It's will sorry. it will provide me a backdoor or a access to your system from where I can literally copy your each and every data which is stored in your system. I can do the internal recon, or I will say I will do the discovery where I will have the access, or I will read everything what you are doing. Even I can read what is your keystrokes, whatever you are typing, everything has been uh, duplicating in my system where I can analyze everything. What is your credentials, how you are working, what is your behavior, what are your different location, what is how much amount of money you are having in your accounts if you have in that period of time if you open your any banking systems and all. So once I have a sufficient amount of a data about you, then I assume your identity means I am you only in your digital environment, right? So how digital environments are working, how digital payments or anything is working, they work on the concept of what you have, what you know. They work on this concept. So what you have, the credentials, what you know, the OTPs and the passwords and uh, the social security numbers, like in India, it's called Aadhaar cards and all, what you have. So I have access of everything, what you are and what you have. Once I have access of everything, I can literally do anything over the internet, like transactions, money transfer. I can change your profile. I can apply for a job on your response. I can send a resignation letter on your behalf. I can literally do anything from this system. So that is what is happening in this attack scenario. So this is the real attack scenarios has been carried out nowadays, where things has been messed up for all. And with the help, there are some applications which looks good to us, like uh, they look good to us, like they are easing our task and all, and they are on the free. So first thing we need to understand, if any application is providing you a service on a free of cost, how they are sustaining a business. Definitely in backend, they are collecting your data, Facebook, WhatsApp. What these guys are doing, they are providing a free services. Truecaller, they are providing a free services. They are having your access. Now the WhatsApp has also integrated a payment system, UPI payment system. Don't use that. I will say don't use that. Once these guys will having your financial record, like whenever we initiate a payment, they will have access, like how much amount of money you are transferring to the e-commerce website or this and that. So once they have the access of your bank account, they will start sending the advertisement to you like, okay, send this policy to him, send this mutual fund to him, send this buying thing to him because he have a money. So I will suggest always segregate your applications. Like if you want to do a transaction, use Bheem or PhonePe where they are not cross-selling the product. If you want to do a chatting, just use a WhatsApp for a chatting purpose or contact it. Don't mix your social media with your finance. They are providing these solutions by saying it's a good thing to have on a single go and all, but it's a bad for me, it's a bad thing. For an individual user, it's a very bad thing. It's good for their business only. Even the Truecaller, what they are doing, they are providing a service by scanning like, okay, this is the number, you are getting a call from this number and so on and so on. Fine, that is what has been performed. But in backend, what he is doing, he's collecting your data. He have your whole financial record. Okay. And on the basis of this financial record, he can generate any scam to him. Scam is like cross-selling. That is also come under scam. They are trying to sell a product which is not really required to you. They are trying to sell a loan to you. Even Truecaller are selling a loans nowadays. So what is this? Why you want to buy anything with a loan of like 30 to 45% of the interest you want to pay? So this is a whole scam has been carried out by this multinational companies by providing a freebies, and from backend they are collecting your data and trying to sell the loans to you. So again, they are also doing the same thing what scammers are doing. Only thing is they are doing with the help of corporate, like it's a white collar job. They are doing the same thing. Attackers are also doing the same thing. So that is what right nowadays is going on in the world. Okay. So what are the we will talk a little bit about different case studies. These are the different financial systems has been targeted in India. Hitachi payment system, it's a part of a Hitachi group. In 2016, uh, someone have stolen the credit and debit card information from their system. Attacker have sent a malware to one of their employee, and with the help of employee they got the access of the system, and from there they stole the credit and debit card details, which generate a 1.3 crores of revenue loss to 19 Indian banks. How? Because they need to replace all 30 lakhs debit cards. So to generate a debit card, some amount of money has to be paid, right? So that is what been occurred with 1.3 crores. Like payment system has been duped. Their credit debit card details has been downloaded by the attacker and is available on the internet for the darknet for sale. And to avoid that, these banks has to release the new debit cards. Same scenario has been happened in 2016 in a Union Bank, where they have one branch in Hong Kong and branch. Their Swift transaction system has been compromised. From there, a $170 million of transaction, foreign currency transaction, has been performed by the attackers because Hong Kong based branch system has been compromised. In terms of City Union Bank breach that happened in 2018, again, their system has been compromised and around $1.8 million has been siphoned off from the system. Means they have transferred the money in multiple banks in like in New York, in Dubai, in Turkey, in China. So rest of the money has been recovered. Only the negotiation is going on with the Turkey and Hong Kong, because we don't with China we don't have a good relation with these countries. So that money, it's become a hectic task to remove. Like external ministry has to come into the picture, and then some amount has been recovered from it. And the most famous one is the Cosmos Bank fraud in 2018. What just happened in this system is one malware has been dropped in their system. It's a cooperative bank. And with this malware, what he is doing is he compromised the CBC, core banking system. And with this CBC, whenever our ATM is generating a transaction, it is being sent to the CBC for the verification. What he have done is he bypassed that transaction mechanism, like CBC. This malware bypass the CBC. So whatever transaction is happening with the help of ATMs, like ATM details has been stolen, and they have generated around like 48,000 transaction with different ATMs. With the help of that, sorry, around uh, 90 crores has been transferred in a different banking accounts with the help of ATM transaction. That is what is happened in the Cosmos banking fraud. So there's a survey, or there's a thing in the research in cybersecurity to know if someone is sitting in your system. It's take more than or minimum 160 days, means 6 months of time, sorry, 180 days. 6 months of time has been required to detect something has been, someone is sitting in your environment. So they are doing this transaction from last one uh, 80 days. After 180 days only they will able to detect, because some audit has been performed and where the audit is not been matched, and they got to know, okay, where this money is going on, and then they start analyzing it. Then they got the know, like, oh, their system has been compromised and 90 crores has been wiped out in from their records and deposited into multiple accounts. So that is what is happening in the Cosmos Bank fraud. So these are the different cases out there. So this is something to avoid that government means we need to follow the regulations, and also resilience and cyber safety come into the picture. So there are three phases in the resilience and cybersecurity when we talk to avoid any system has been compromised. At an individual layer level, there's a different way. As a corporate level, there's a different way. To avoid this, uh, there's a three things come into the thing. One is government, one is business. Okay, government, business, and your this thing connections, international connection or diplomatic scenarios. These are the three way which we, with the help of this, we can uh, avoid this scenario. Like government first create a reporting database for a breach mandatory. So nowadays RBI have created a RBI security framework for banking system, where they have made a security team, CERT team for a financial sectors, where they are generating insights for emerging trends for financial sector. They have launched this tokenization system. They even create a centralized database also to avoid this attack scenario. If attack has happened, the centralized database will update on the regular basis. uh, they even create inside this RBI framework, they have mandate to for all the employees to go for a cyber hygiene training or education or cyber security. They create a mandate for them to create a SOC team, so the systems and environment will be on the regular basis, the monitoring will going on. They give a mandate for that also, like to set up a SOC, so the monitoring will be performed. If the monitoring will be performed, we can detect the attack on the early basis. That is the government job. What business or the industry has to do, to businesses like your UPI payment, GPay and all, e-commerce websites and all. So for that, they need to have a data sharing system where if any fraud or someone is reporting any fraud or on, it has to be recorded on the centralized database or sharing system. So for that thing, a cyber safety or cyber safe one organization has been created by the government and the industry for the fintech to share the data. So we will going to check like how it has been working, and with the help of that, how the attacks has been uh, or how the frauds has been detected, and proper response has been generated for that. And diplomatic like-minded countries has to come together, like with whom we have a good diplomatic relation, so they will share all the cyber threat related information. Threat hunting has been performed on the collaborative basis, and they need to share their intels with us, with each other in a centralized database. So we will be having information like how the attacks and all scenarios will carried out. So that will help. Now, how to tackle it? Like for individual and for the companies or the business, government have created this cyber safe initiated by the Ministry of Home Affairs, where this FICN and FCORD, these are the two agencies of India where fake note currencies and money laundering and all they tackle with. So they clubbed together and they created a database. So what is this cyber safe database? And they are doing is they created a database and a agency where your businesses, all the fintech companies, your police departments, and all the intelligence departments has been created a centralized database, and they all has been connected with each other. So what is happening in this when they has been all has been connected with each other? So first thing in this case is if someone is filing a complaint, like I have been duped or fraud has been happened with me. So I have filed a complaint like this particular mobile number or this person has done a fraud with me. So what they are doing is we have to file a complaint over the internet with the online website they have. Cybercrime website is by the government of India is there. So we file a complaint. A complaint has been launched and it has been stored in the database. Now that complaint database number, they compare their detail with the database, like in the previous also someone has done a fraud with this number or not. So now they have the information. If someone is trying to initiate a payment on any e-commerce website or any merchant location with that mobile number or banking detail, bank address or UPI address, they will got the information and they will know, okay, in this location they have done the transaction. So they will got the details about the person also, like he have initiated the payment. So with the help of that, they are tackling. So for that, all the fintech companies, these fintech companies come together with the Ministry of Home Affairs, and they have set up a whole scenario or whole infrastructure where if they are sharing the transaction details with these, and they are comparing the details where the complaint has been filed. If the same number has been used in the transaction, so they trace it back. So that is how this uh, uh, cyber safe is been working. And for individual also, like if you are someone is saying generate a UPI payment to us, so you can also cross verify that particular person, like is it a individual person in a part of a negative database or not. You can also cross verify it. Is the account number you are sharing, mobile number, email address, or UPI ID which is being shared with you, is a safe one or not. You can cross verify with this database also. So how to do that, right? So first thing, if any fraud has been happened, you have to launch a complaint on this cybercrime.gov.in. So this database is linked with CyberSafe website. So you can say report a cybercrime here and just fill a form, uh, file a complaint, and you can file a complaint out of here. It will launch a. It's a very simple state login ID is any email address if you know the login ID. If you don't have, then click here for new user, launch a login ID, phone number and all. The complaint will be launched. They will ask the details and the proof for the complaint. So once the complaint has been launched, it has been attached the complaint with the CyberSafe. So this is the website CyberSafe. This have two portals. One is login to CyberSafe, that is for fintech companies and the government agencies to do the analysis. And second is verify suspected data. So here, this is the three ways: mobile number, account number, and UPI ID. You can put these details out of here. And when you click on this verify, they will check with the negative database. What is the negative database? It's a collection of all the uh, mobile number, account number, or UPI IDs which is been used in any kind of a fraud. So right now there are around 1,91,862 negative details, negative phone numbers are available in this database. So from where this database has been created? From your complaint. So always file a complaint in cybercrime.gov.in whenever you fall victim to it. Okay. Sorry. You can check with this on the basis of mobile number, account ID, UPI IDs to check if any number or any UPI ID or account number has been previously been used. Now this is the thing. Okay, now they are come out with a new solution, which is like one SIM, one fraud. No more. Means if a single number or UPI ID or bank account is being part of a any fraud previously, means one time he committed a fraud, that mobile number, bank account will be seized, all data will be recorded, that bank number or bank account will be used by whom, that person will be caught and put it in, behind the bar. So this is what the new mission of CyberSafe is, means one SIM, one fraud. One time you commit a fraud from a SIM, that will be blocked and they will try to trace you back from where it has been, with whom this SIM has been registered and all. So that is the new mission they have come out with, one SIM, one fraud. Till now, with a single SIM, you can do a multiple fraud. So once you do a fraud with any SIM or anything, once it become a part of a negative database, automatically this SIM will be blocked. So what these guys are doing is uh, all the secret agencies, CBI, ED, and your police department have already been part of this CyberSafe. They have made a mandate to all the e-commerce website wherever the online transactions are happening, banking system, UPIs segments, fintech companies. They are also being part of it. Now they are adding the telecom industry also to achieve this one SIM and one front system. So it will become a automated system. Once you launch a complaint, automatically all will on the vigilant mode and they will try to figure it out from where it has been initiated, and they will try to block the SIM, block the accounts and all the information associated with this one particular mobile number. So that is how they have been drafted. So CyberSafe is the good way to check like where you are performing a transaction, and cybercrime portal is a website where you can file a report, or you can even learn about different cyber crimes which are currently going on in India. The latest one, they have our latest report with them, right? Okay. So that's all for this one. So we can open for Q&A session. Now we can shift to the Q&A sessions.
Thank you very much, Swapnil. It was quite a knowledgeable session. So we will start our questions, okay? And we already have around 2 to 3 questions. Swapnil, you can see in your chat box, so we can start addressing them. So we have it from Mr. Anshul that if a SIM is cloned or a eSIM has been issued to an attacker, then does actual user SIM is operational or not? Operational or not? So
If
you can take
SIM
the question.
is if SIM is been cloned, then the actual SIM is in the operation mode. If it is a eSIM, then the actual SIM will not be operational. That's why they put a security mechanism in the SIM cloning. If it has been cloned, then both the SIM will be operational. But if a eSIM has been issued, the physical SIM will not be operational. So you will got no signal or any that kind of a situation in your system, in your mobile. What is a good system, centralized or decentralized? As decentralized system data is stored in multiple locations, so it's a quite safe compared to centralized location. It's depend upon where you want to put like centralized and decentralized. In some situations, centralized systems are very good. In some situation, decentralized systems are good. Like in terms of e-commerce and all webs, centralized, decentralized systems are good. But when we talk about government agencies, for them, centralized system has been required because they need intel information. So for them, centralized system is good. For financial sector, decentralized system is good because it has been stored in the multiple location. That also depend upon the sensitivity of the data, how sensitive data it is. If it's a more sensitive data, then again government needs to have access of it. So for that, a centralized system will be required. So you can also only store the transaction, what is the transaction has been happened, that on the decentralized location, but the actual financial record data has to be stored in the centralized location because there are certain norms need to be followed. To fulfill that norms, the centralized location will be required. If all data is having with government, so what we can do if attacks on the government entity like recently happened? You can't do anything with that. Government is responsible for that. So that's why the concept of government is there. If any breach is happening, they will only be responsible. They will they have provide penalties, and they will do some reimbursement or anything to ease your breach. So they are only responsible for them. You can't put a penalty on a government. So if a government database has been breached, so it's not a cyber attack, it's a cyber terrorism, or it is a state sponsored. So nowadays the warfare, it's come under the cyber warfare. Nowadays, whatever the wars are happening, they are not the traditional war or traditional techniques has been used. So cyber attacks has been a new tool to generate raise a war against any government or any country. So it's a part of that government data breach means it's a attack over the country has been treated, and there are different way to treat it. We can't do anything at a personal level to it. On the personal level, we can only do is just follow the best security hygienes. That's what we can do over it. Apart from that, we can't do anything on this. How CBDC, central bank digital currency, prone to attack compared to cash? Uh, it's newly been developed. So right now it's not the correct time to means it's not a correct time to say like how it is prone towards the attacks compared to cache, because it's a very beta version is there, so we have to test it how it is will work and all. But yeah, how it can be used, it can be used to tackle the black money, the hardcore black money which people are used to store in their system, in their home and all. It will help to tackle that. Apart from that, it is not comparable to the CAC. Only thing is it has been linked with the Indian currency, so the depreciation is directly linked with your GDPs and foreign exchange, and the cost to generate this currency to any country is low because the printing price, transit, and all will be saved. So that is some comparison with the cash. But how it is prone to attack, it's quite early to comment over this thing. Okay. Any other question, guys? Anything?
Hari, Swapnil, we have questions, two, three questions. I think Mr. Ravi is putting two, three
Uh,
questions he has put here. If you can
I
just go
have
through all the questions and just address it.
I have already addressed these questions. There one more is
Okay.
there. As all of data is having government which recently happened. Yeah, I have addressed all the questions so far. For this AIMS and ICMR, decentralized database or blockchain will be the good way to store the data, even in the government agencies.
Also, I would like to add one point, I think, here on the AIMS and ICMR point. Okay, so here a lot of organizations need to follow certain policies with respect to ISO 27001 or internal policies. And again, of course, awareness session also needs to be given to the end users. Because in the certain report, if you read the AIMS report, a lot of servers and the database servers and application servers did not had certain policies and procedures in place, because of which the ransomware attack had happened. So it is across the organizations again. So be it government organization or other organizations, private organizations, or on an individual basis also, you need to follow certain policy procedures which are there in place in order to prevent certain attack. So that is something which you can do. So good to have policy in place. ISO 27001 is something which you can follow. There are various standards. For NIST standards is there. There are various standards which are across for applications. There are VAPT things which we can do. Mobile application VAPT you can do. Cloud security also there are policy procedures that you need to follow, so that certain attacks are prevented. Okay. Okay, one more question from Mr. Shravan is there. So, Apnil, if you can address it.
Is there any possibility that backend activity is happening and stealing data even if we install application from mobile, that is Truecaller or etc.? Uh, if these guys have dropped one more APK backdoor in your environment, then it will be a possibility. Otherwise, that will not be in the case. Like in terms of Truecallers and all, they only do it when the application is installed in their environment. If you uninstall it, it will not going to sniff your data in the backend. Okay. If they drop one more payload in your environment, then only it is possible, but usually that will not be the case. That is very sophisticated attacks, and these true callers and all, they are not using these techniques. They are just using the normal techniques to sniff your data, because they have to comply with the security procedures and the government agencies. So they are not using this. If you are downloading our application from a third party link and all, in that situation, there are chances they will drop one more payload in your application environment. So if you install the actual application, still a backdoor is available in your system. In banking system, which system is better, centralized or decentralized? In banking system, to generate the transaction, they have implemented the blockchain, but to store the data financial records, centralized is required because of the RBI framework, which says after the data has been generated, it has to be stored for 7 more consecutive years, then only they can delete it. So for that, centralized system is required. For transaction and online services, decentralized is good.
Hi everyone. Are there any more questions, or we'll wait for another 5 minutes and then we can log off.
How to
Okay,
check
we
if
have one more question from Mr. Anand Kumar. How to check if the device is being compromised? What if they installed a tool in our mobile knowingly or accidentally? How to check these details? Swapnil, you want to answer this?
Yeah, so what they will do is they to do that, routing of your device is required. Means developer mode will be enabled in your device. If a developer mode has been enabled, then, and if you are not aware what is a developer mode and USB debugging and all other things, that means your system maybe have been compromised by someone or some application. Because to install any unauthorized application, we have to enable these features.
Okay, great. One point I would like to add here. So, like Mr. Anand Kumar has mentioned, if in case if the device is compromised, so this is on an individual basis. But in an organization, usually, as per the reports, it usually takes more than 200 days to detect whether the network has been compromised or no. Okay, so there are various ways in which that is done, but overall usually it takes more than 200 days to detect whether the organization's internal network has been compromised or not. So there are a lot of CNC connections are happening there. CNC, like the data is being exfiltrated out, or the malware is in stealth mode, and so and so forth. Right. So that is something which happens at the organization level and which eventually leads to a ransomware attack. Okay, so that is something. So for there, a lot of tools, compromise assessment is there, forensics assessment is there. We usually the packets are checked, and we take logs in from the entire network. So be it firewall or application server or database server, we take the logs and I analyze that particular log, and we find out whether the current network is being compromised or no. And then certainly we take certain measures in terms of what all things have been you have to implement at the network level, wherein you can prevent further attacks in the system.
One more thing I want to add on this mobile device, it will increase your battery consumption. Okay, if some tool has been installed in your system, apart from debugging mode and routing and all, it will increase your battery consumption, and you have to check your network also, like how much amount of data has been consumed by your mobile device. That we can check in your Android device and all. So with the help of that also, you can take a basic understanding, like maybe your system has been compromised, or your mobile has been compromised, or some tool has been dropped in your system. Okay, what implication to catch it as mobile in case of any ransomware? Uh, for mobile, they will not going to generate a ransomware attack. Ransomware attacks is usually being dropped towards the corporate networks because they want to encrypt the corporate data from where they can ask for a ransomware. Uh, for mobile, there will be no ransomware so far. For mobile, data sniffing or credential sniffing, emoted kind of a malwares has been shared, bank emoted and all, where they will try to sniff your data and banking details. Any impact in a smartwatch? Yeah, that's a very good question. There's a thing called well-being. With the help of that, they can create your whole profile, like, what you dislike, where you are going, and all. Your whole record will be created. So identity theft can be performed with the help of a smartwatch and all. They can even listen if your smartwatch is having a mic and all, so they can even listen what you guys are talking about and all, and they will create a profile for you, and then they will launch a social engineering attack or any kind of attack, or they will try to figure out your banking transaction payments and all. So yes, any smart device is very dangerous in terms of cybersecurity. Any kind of a smart device, any IoT based device, smart devices, smartwatch and all.
Okay. Any new questions? We can wait another. Okay, we have one more question from Mr. Ravi. Uh, you link is planning to install chips in our mind so that hack anything. Okay, but Swapnil, you want to
Neuro,
answer this question?
Neuralink, you are talking about, that Elon Musk has come out with this solution, right? So that is something I am against of it, any kind of a link implementation to install in our minds so that hack anything. That is a very dangerous thing. It can backfire also, like if someone can hack that chip, that means he has hacked a personal identity. So that is a very difficult situation if you got being hacked. Even there are thing called how to hack a human OS. People will be hacked with the help of psychology and all other things. But if you implemented a chip, then it's become very easy task to hack a system or hack a person.
Yeah, I would like to add here. So you must have heard about online murder, right? So it is basically hacking the pacemaker, and because there are smart pacemakers right now, and then they can obviously. It is not easy, but yes, it is possible. So if you want to take
Yes,
that
yeah, that has been
pacemakers
possible.
and all that, if you want to hack, how you can crash it,
Even
etc.
sorry to say that, but even your mobile device is a potential bomb. Like way back, we have seen the mobile device has been blast. So what if someone is sending a link or a malware or a code in your system, and if you click on that and your mobile suddenly got blast, so you will die at that moment. Correct. So that is also been possible with the help of a hack. So any device, in short, any digital device can be hackable. Any device, unless if he is having any connection, if he is having a connection, Wi-Fi or internet connection, it's very easy to hack. If he is not having a connection, again it will hackable. Means you can hack it by tampering it physically. I'm saying tampering it physically, you can hack that device if they have any electronic component inside that. EVC machine or EVM you are talking about.
EVM रहेगा वो तो अपनी EVM ही रहेगा
Ah,
इलेक्शन फीवर इज ऑन ना आई
हाँ,
थिंक
so
ईवीएम ही
i-
रहेगा वो ये बीच में आई लाइक in between the election
see,
commission had arranged a hackathon I think in Delhi only they had called all the hackers in order to check whether that is vulnerable or no and I think there were many hackers who were successful in getting that application but again physical of
no,
course you can comment on
what
that
they what they have done is they have changed this chip. If you are changing a
actually
chip, that is not a hack. You are changing its motherboard. Means you are
हाँ
creating a
हाँ
new device. That is not a hack.
basically physical only it is
Physical
possible.
tampering.
Yeah, physical
Physical
tampering is of
tampering.
course anytime when whenever and
Physical
however
tampering
you
is
get a
possible for any
yes,
device. Physical
yes,
tampering is
yes, absolutely.
possible for any device. Without physical tampering, you will not able to hack any kind of a EVM machine because we don't have any uh, Wi-Fi or internet connection over it. If you don't have any connection, how you are going to take access of it? Physical tampering is a different case, right? So physical tampering has been possible because you are changing a chip, whatever chips has been used. If you are changing it, it's not that particular EVM machine, it will become a different machine. So it's not a hack. It's a bullshit. Okay, anything else? Any other question?
I think there are no new questions. We can, we have already overshooted the time. We can wait another 2 minutes or else we can conclude the session.
Okay. So I think Pratik, we are good to go for a closure.
Yes, yes, we can close. No new questions. Thank you
Okay.
everyone. Thank you,
Thank you,
Swapnil, for
everyone.
taking us through the entire integrities of e-payment and how we need to tackle it, and in terms of how we need to take basically what precautions we need to take our end. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, team, and thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be conducting our next Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas on 4th of January 2023. And you'll shortly get your links, invites for the upcoming Cyber Jaagrookta webinar. Happy New Year to everyone in advance, and yes, enjoy your new year and party hard, and we'll meet you in the next year, 4th of January 2023. Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Bye bye.